There is such a creature in the world. They were discovered by a few people, but it doesn't officially exist. We refer to this group of creatures as unidentified, mysterious animal. The identified organism is referred to as UMA for short. Hello everyone, and welcome to UNMA series Food. This issue brings you, it's from Ohio, USA. Creatures in the strange location of Ohio. Poach people. Dig people, also known as Loughlin dig people, due to all the eyewitness reports, all got their name from this city called Loughlin. According to the description, this is the head and spectrum of a frog, but capable of being human-like, upright walking creature, dissatisfied with wrinkled skin, hairless, and about 4 feet tall. It's like a 7 or 8-year-old kid. There have been sightings of this creature, dating back to the 1950s. It was around 3:30 a.m. one day in May 1955. An unknown business person, driving in Loughlin, on a remote road along Miami and the coast, when passing a bridge, discovered 3 bicameral reptiles gathered by the roadside. They're called reptilian-like creatures. Because of them, it has obvious morphological differences from humans. He describes those creatures are between 3 and 4 feet tall. The whole body is covered with grey leather-like skin. Hands and feet are plain. There's no hair on the frog-like head, but with deep wrinkles. Out of curiosity, the master got out of the car and hid in the distance to observe urgently. It turns out that these 3 creatures seem to be paralyzed by passion. Just as the merchant was about to sneak away, one of the creatures suddenly threw a similar cylinder of the wand over your head. I saw a cloud of cremation ejected from the end of the cylinder. The business person was so frightened that he fled quickly. A description of this story. In fact, there are discrepancies between the other 2 versions. One is to say, after the merchant saw the 3 creatures on the bridge, didn't stop the car, but immediately left the bridge. Another way is that the story takes place under a bridge. Business person pulls up and hits his horn. Angry, those creatures, one of them jumped on his hood and let out a hoarse roar. The merchant immediately fainted. A year away. Why is the truth no longer clear? However, the sightings did not end there. After 17 years, this is 1972, 2 more sightings happened within the same month. At around 1 a.m. on March 3rd of that year, a Loughlin cop named Ryan Negative drive down Riverside, drive towards Loughlin, spotted a creature from the front of his car, cross the road. He claimed that because the ground was icy, he has been driving slowly and carefully, so I was able to use the headlights to capture the creature, fully illuminated. According to the description he provided, this creature has skin like the West. Height, 3 to 4 feet. Weighs about 50 to 75 pounds. Although the author has no idea how he weighed it. I saw him squatting down like a frog, staring directly at the negative. Then he stood up and climbed over the guardrail, jumped into the river. Afterwards, the chick called to explain the encounter, told another officer, Mark Matthews. And very soon, March 17th, St. Patrick Herger's Day, Matthews also encountered the creature. That day, he was driving around Miami and nearby Bow Road Puppet. Then I found a similar. The carcasses of animals lay in the middle of the icy road. As he got out of the car, we're going to start it off the road. The creature suddenly jumped up and appeared in a crouching state. Matthews was taken aback by the animal. In horror, he pulled out his pistol and fired a shot at the creature. The story ends here. There's also diversity of information. One version says that after the creature was shot, he limped over the guardrail and jumped into the river, lost, and another version says the creature was killed instantly. Matthews brought his body back to Shockey. Confirmed for 2 weeks. This is the monster that appeared before. Think of Zhao chicken sighting. The weight of the creature is explained in the description of the event. I think the second version may be more reliable. And the last sighting. It happened on August 3rd, 2016. Sam Jacobs. I'm with my girlfriend, near Madeira Road. Wonbo K Mengu. This is a model based on A2 system augmented reality. It requires the player to constantly move around in reality to discover and capture new pet characters. The two were approaching Lake Isabella. I found this one doesn't fit. Virtual pocket of realistic creatures. Jacob's description. That's a real, giant frog. This frog stood about 4 feet tall. Walk on your hind legs. Here it is. He also provided photos and videos taken at the time. Next, let's adjust the brightness contrast. Slow it down. Please observe carefully. Although the lighting in the shooting environment was not ideal, but we can still see. This is a humanoid creature, standing in the water, and according to the size of the eye, reflected in the flash. It can also be determined that this is by no means a human. Videos and photos once reported, and that raised a lot of questions. To make people believe what he said, Jacobs even took a poisonous oath. I actually saw him. Is this based on frogs? Strange life forms between humans. Does it really exist? So first, we're going to look at the machine thing. This 1955 sighting is the most obscure. The author is in the process of searching. We found many different versions. The identity of the witnesses is in doubt. Some say it is a business person, some say it is a traveler or a missionary, and so on. And the biomass of the wood trail. There are differences. In most versions, said there were 3 unknown creatures standing on the bridge. In some versions, it's 4. And the time and place of the incident also vary. Plus, no actual evidence was left behind. So there's a big question about authenticity. And 2 sightings in 1972, and there's a backstory as well. After the Arling Ilo Pokemon incident, Officer Matthews, who shot the creature that year, tied to a reporter and told him what he saw that year. It's actually a big feces without a tail. Possibly an escaped pet from a nearby household. Great Fisher usually refers to the green fisher in the Fisher West. It's a large lizard that lives in trees. Adult chloroprene, the maximum body length can reach more than 2 meters. Lifespan, up to 10 years. In terms of this statement, green Lexi, it is indeed the most popular type of pet. But here's the thing, why would Matthews want to die 40 years later? Select change port, and according to the photos provided by Jacobs, we really can't. It is associated with chloralexis. Leaving aside this age-old machine incident, digging people in the water in 2016, it's the most imaginative. The author discovered during the search for information, there are many authors who refer to these events, fake scam. I guess the reason is probably in the last paragraph of VIP. The events were described by a man wearing homemade clothing, frog clothing, incidents caused by local high school students, but that's actually 2 stories. The high school student incident took place in 2020. Is a typical pose. Fundamentally different from 16 years. So there is no evidence to prove it yet. This creature doesn't exist. Speculation about this creature. There are still a lot of people who believe Matthews thought it was a green hunter tin. Some people will also dig people with another. Derived animals are linked together in, according to the Ohio River, about 100 miles along the coast in Knipsey, Kentucky. In 1975, several people raised one. A giant lizard, 15 feet long, known as the Milton lizard. According to eyewitnesses, he has big eyes like a frog. It's gray under the mouth. Body, covered with black and white crossed stripes and tiny spots. Hen incidents are concentrated in July and August. However, This claim is not reliable. Because of the Milton lizard, it hasn't been seen since 1975. There is another argument that the frogman is a constricted coyote or other mammals. This claim has not been confirmed in other cases. Also common in biological guesses. According to the 1978 distribution report, at that time, the distribution range of coyotes is located in Ohio. Very likely, so-called poaching. Just some problems. Mammals with epileptic lesions due to skin diseases. Due to the lack of light at night, it creates visual biases. And the name Frogman. It is believed that the film may have been released in 1954. The impact of creatures from Black Pepper Lake. The author himself does not endorse this statement. I think the age of the witnesses is sufficient to recognize, can distinguish the characteristics of canines. Description of being able to stand. There's no explanation for it in this theory. And the last guess tends to be mythological. As early as the late 17th century, French explorers arrive in Miami, and Yannon received a warning from the local Miami people. Scaling Center lives a river demon called Shauna Hawk. They have the characteristics of both frogs and just missing the nose and hair. Dark and uneven skin. We also produce mucus. They have guarded the banks of the river since ancient times. Drive away, intruders. Locals believe this creature is immortal. When hurt, will sink into the cool waters of Miami. Injury. But the problem with this statement is that it's very old. People's perception of things at that time. There are still many missing. The UFO alien theory. The author will not repeat it here alone. Almost all unknown creatures in human form. There will be guesses in this direction. To sum up, take it as a whole. The author believes that the possibility of the existence of this creature, not big first. If the eyewitness describes if it's just a giant frog, I think it's possible. Just like the Changtan monster mentioned before. But the crux of the matter is the human form and the description of standing. I don't know if you noticed. All the sightings just say they saw the frogman, but they didn't see the frog jumping forward. Frogs are amphibians. If you want to learn to walk upright, it takes a long evolutionary time. And its evolutionary purpose. It must also be to adapt to life on land. And all events are inseparable from the riverbank. This location, I think, it can be ruled out. Speculation about amphibians in the Diggy family. Secondly, in the United States, mysterious creature. It seems to have become a major tourism industry. Important components. Add a vague description of the first few sightings. I think, maybe it's a figment of fiction. The purpose is for certain cities, regions, add mystery. The strangest sightings of the past 16 years. Here, look at the reflections on the water. Can prove the eye part of this creature. It's luminous. Not caused by flash. So the prank content should be higher. But the author is not absolutely certain here, because the witness poisoned what he saw. Swear. Whatever the truth, whereon has become a local stream, an urban legend of the line. Perhaps the authenticity of its existence no longer matters. After all, the unknown is always greater than the known. This is also the charm of Uma. This video is here. Thanks for watching.